A former U.S. president meeting a man the current U.S. administration labels a terrorist. It's a meeting that will infuriate the likes of George Bush, Ehud Olmert, and the many international leaders who insist the Hamas party be isolated, shunned, even condemned. But Al Jazeera has learned the meeting is scheduled to take place in the Syrian capital of Damascus on Friday, April 18th. Sources tell Al Jazeera that Hamas leader Khalid Meshaal will host a small delegation to include former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. He may be joined by former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan and Nelson Mandela. Senior Hamas officials have confirmed the Carter meeting, but declined to speak on camera out of both security and political considerations. Details about the meeting are unclear, but the very fact that it will take place may further erode the U.S. and Israeli-led campaign to isolate Hamas. It's a divisive issue in the United States. President Bush has not wavered since learning of Hamas's free and fair election in 2006.
I don't see how you can be a partner in peace if you advocate the destruction of a country as part of your platform.
But former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell, in a radio address last summer, offered this dissenting opinion.
I think you'd have to find some way to talk to Hamas. They are not going to go away, and we have to remember that they enjoy considerable support among the Palestinian people. They won an election that we insisted upon having.
Even some in Israel's security establishment have called for dialogue with Hamas. Ephraim Halevi, who headed the Israeli Mossad agency until 2002, including during the botched 1997 effort to assassinate Khalid Meshaal in Jordan, told the Jewish Ford newspaper, quote, "They're not very pleasant people, but they are very, very credible." Even still, a Carter meeting with Hamas is sure to provoke Israel's staunchest defenders.
We call upon Syria to arrest Khalid Meshaal, the leader of Hamas who has received safe harbor in Damascus.
Critics might expect this kind of move from the former U.S. president. In spite of winning the Nobel Peace Prize for brokering Israel's first peace agreement with an Arab state, he has taken flack in recent years from America's pro-Israel community for criticizing Israel's occupation in his book, Palestine Peace, Not Apartheid. America's key Arab allies will also not be happy, not only because of their belief these talks will weaken Fatah leader and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, but also because they themselves have recently shunned the role of Syrian diplomacy, most noticeably by refusing last week to send senior delegations to the Arab League summit in Damascus. And now comes a team led by a former U.S. president, currently in Nepal monitoring elections there. Sources tell Al Jazeera that Carter initially sought to meet with the Hamas leadership in Gaza, but was denied by the Israeli government. With the Fatah-led Palestinian Authority weakening with each passing day, time will tell if this will be an isolated meeting or if Damascus may soon become the new hub for talks between Israelis and Palestinians. Clayton Swisher, Al Jazeera.